So we talk about inspiration on this show for the last few minutes, and this story is really an inspiring one. Ben Peabody has taken tough times in his life and has turned it into an opportunity to help others who may be going through it or who are about to go through it. Dr. Brian Benson is here with us as well. Ben is now an artist and an author. So tell me your story. Give me your elevator pitch on your story.
Well, we started this series of work in 1999. I helped start Baton Rouge Community College, and we were short an art teacher there that first semester, so I had to fill in. I was the foundation director, and I taught a class, and at the end of it we wanted to do something for the wellness fair at the library. And besides being there, the art teacher, the foundation director, I was also the free school counselor.
Oh,
so
man.
I worked with a lot of these kids with the problems they were having. And so at the semester I said, we need to do something. You're all artists. We need to do something for the wellness fair for the library. And they said, well, what are you going to do, Mr. Peabody? And I said, nothing. I'm the teacher. And they said, no, you got to do something. We know you do cool stuff and we like what you do. So I said, okay, I'll do something about y'all. So I did a piece of artwork that reflected what they would come and tell me, their stories, their problems with addiction, their problems for not being able to come to school, their problems with hangovers, just whatever. So I kind of related that in a piece of artwork about them, and then the hope and the success and the happiness they got if they got in recovery. And so I did that first piece in 1999.
Yeah.
And 24 years later, I have 41 pieces, all on addiction that I've done. And one of the only artists,
some of them scrolling on the
one
screen
of the only artists who ever has anything like that. So it's a very unique show at the West Baton Rouge Museum, and I want to give all the shout out West Baton Rouge Museum for doing this, because it's really, they stuck their neck out to do something on addiction. It's been well received, and it's something people need to see, because we're trying to save a life and educate young people before it happens.
Yeah, you know, life comes at freshmen really fast. You know, so often when they're teens, they just can't wait to be an adult. And then when that door opens, it's like, uh-oh, what do I do now? So you're drinking from a fire hose. Ben, what are your thoughts on this work? And it's got to be cathartic for you as well to do it, but what do you think about the impact that this work is having on these young people?
Yeah, thanks for having me, Mr. Young and Mr. Peabody. Thanks for inviting me and all you've done. So I think it's great to be able to have something to take the focus off, remove the stigma, you know, address any concerns that the patient, the young person, the adolescent may have, and just be able to discuss things, not feel like they're going to get in trouble talking about something. I mean, I've heard stories that you said that a young lady and her mom came to talk about one of your pieces, and next thing you know, the daughter was quite well informed on the subject, and mom maybe didn't know that she was, and basically there was a problem there that wasn't even discussed, and then there was a talk on the way home, a really important talk, so it opened up the conversation. You know, I'm a family practice doc. I am about 3 years after my residency training, I was asked to get in to consider the specialty of addiction, and I never knew how rewarding it would be. You know, never knew.
Why so?
Well, most of the times as a primary care doctor, we're trying to convince people to live healthy, to lose some weight, so you don't have to be on the blood pressure medicine. Watch what you eat, so you don't have to, so you don't get diagnosed with diabetes. Oftentimes, we just see the process worsen. You know, it's hard to get out there and exercise, to back off your eating. If you're like me, that's where you go to. It's like when you're stressed out, where's the chocolate? You know what I mean? And this is Southern Louisiana, where the food's so good and it's too hot to get out there and exercise.
We fry butter.
Yeah, there you go, exactly.
Yeah.
So then the problem becomes that that folks look for other things for satisfaction, and they can use poor coping skills will lead to substance use. You know, people use substances because they either don't want to face a problem, anxiety, depression, maybe trauma or something like that, or they use it for performance enhancing. You know, like a substance like a stimulant, Adderall, that sort of thing. So they can do the all-nighters. And so these are reasons why some people just like the feeling of getting high. So I think what he does, opening up the door for conversation, because we know at 13 years old, about half the kids are starting to experiment with things. Others kick the can down the road and they wait till they're about 20 and then they start experiencing. But if you can let them get through those formative years where the brain is really forming and they're testing out being an adult, if you can let them get through those years without a substance involved, their chances of having a long-lasting sober life, a satisfying sober life are very high, much higher.
I love that. You know, Ben, for parents who have been surprised, as Doc referenced a second ago, by learning things that their kids may be into that they haven't even seen, what advice would you give? Because there's new college freshmen every year.
What we're trying to warn right now is the danger of fentanyl. Fentanyl is out there, and it's in everything from Adderall to Xanax even into marijuana now. And that's what's so scary. We're having people, you know, innocently taking, well, I'm out of Adderall and my buddy's got some, so I'll just take his instead of the ones that are prescribed by the physician. And next thing you know, they've had fentanyl in them and they could die right then. It's also very, very addictive. Just after a couple times of using it, you want more of that because it's so powerful and so strong. So if I can get any message out, I'm trying to tell parents to tell their children, talk to them about it, warn them that right now it's dangerous. It's not like the older days where you could do something and get away with it.
Right.
Now it's life or death, and we're trying to save a life and start a dialogue where they feel comfortable. Come talk to your parents, talk to your friends. Just be warned about it.
I need y'all to get to the west side of the river to go to the West Baton Rouge Museum. While you're over there, stop at Bazeron's. The crackling will change your life.
Yep.
So thank y'all so much for what you do.
Thank
Mayor
you.
Pro Tem Lamont Cole will be here next week. You guys have a great and safe weekend. Catch you for episode number 96.
Thank you.